Hello, and happy Intellectual Tuesday, but more importantly, happy birthday, Dad. A couple months ago, my dad asked me to make a video about Dazed and Confused, so here I am. I thought I'd make this and just go over some of my favorite scenes and just talk about how I feel about the movie in general. Overall, I'll just get that out of the way. I really liked this movie. It was really good fun. So I have about 7 clips here, and I'm just going to go over each and every one of them and just like why I like that clip so much. So this clip that's showing right now is the introduction essentially to the movie. And I think it paints a really good picture of high school in the 70s. As you can see in the background, it's like 75 to 76. So, and all these kids are just about to go into their senior year of high school. And this scene does a very good job of essentially laying that groundwork and everything. But there's actually kind of 2 stories running side by side. It's a story of these seniors, and then it's also a story of these 8th graders going into their freshman year. It's important because the girl here in the blue shirt has a younger brother, and she asks all the guys that are becoming seniors not to like whoop up on her brothers too much, or rather her brother too much. Moral of the story, she's asking these guys to like not whip up on them, and they're going to go extra hard on her younger brother. So that kind of sets up the 2 plot lines, one following the kid in the middle here with the gray shirt, and the other following her younger brother. So this next scene sets up Pink and his friend. And first off, before I even get into that, look at the fashion here. We got like the t-shirt with the overalls. But this scene also is one of our first glimpses into something that I find really funny about this movie. So they're going on normally and then bam, right? And then they just continue on like nothing's happening. So it's just a lot of these little scenes where the upcoming seniors are doing this stuff to any of the younger kids. Hey, you know what? They own the campus now. They're the big fish in the pond. So anyways, it's good because this scene kind of sets up more of this. But this scene's also hilarious because this guy's trying to get some. And then he tries to do it with the teacher as well, and it just goes horribly. So yeah. Anyways, funny scene overall. Now this scene goes into one of the older guys who's actually held back, so he's doing his senior year again, who's trying to get the younger guys. The one with the long hair is that brother that I talked about, the little brother. But oh gosh, Rutro. I love that. I just love like it's just so funny. And what this, I can't show the audio just because it's like a copyright violation, but it's just funny. He's like trying to explain his way out of it, and overall, just this movie had so many of these little quips in it that I just really, really liked. So, and now he's just really bad, and that'll come back to bite him later in the movie. But I also love that. They're looking out the door and it's like, you're dead. Oh my gosh. So good times. This next scene is one of the best shot scenes in the entire movie because it's this literary device known as like parallelism. So essentially there's a party that's going to happen now that it's summer and everyone's getting ready to go. And so everyone's in their car. And as you'll notice throughout the scenes, everyone, like all these different groups of kids, and there's a couple different ones, they're all in their car getting ready to go have a fun night out in Austin. And I just think that that's really cool. Like the fact that they're able to tell the story of all these different groups, but in a similar but different way, because all the different groups are really concerned about whatever's going on with them, whatever's going on inside the car. And it all works together to build a complete narrative of kids getting ready to party, kids getting ready to go have fun for their last year of high school, or as we'll see later, their first year of high school. So all that to say is that this scene is really well shot, in my opinion, in terms of how the director decided to go about doing this scene. And it's one of my favorite scenes for storytelling, probably ever. This movie's kind of taken that place of instantly iconic. And moral of the story is if your dad tells you to like watch a movie, it's probably good. This was a really good movie, and I should have watched it sooner. But moral of the story, this scene's really good. This next scene is actually pretty cool as well. So Mitch just got beat up, and Pink, Mitch being the kid with the long hair, I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, But Pink shows that he's actually a pretty cool guy and invites him out to this party. And look at that. It's Matthew McConaughey is their like chauffeur for the night. But oh my gosh, it's so funny. Matthew McConaughey asked Mitch if he has like a joint, and Mitch says no. And he's like, it'd be a lot cooler if he did. He does like this weird laugh. It's just so great. I love it. So after Mitch gets picked up by Pink and Matthew McConaughey, and his character is called Wooderson, by the way, they try to go to the party, but it ends up being canceled. No. So essentially, they go to this place called the Emporium. Now let's take a moment right here to appreciate the cigarette pack rolled up in Matthew McConaughey's left sleeve. That is a look. But look at that shot. Oh, what a tiger. But I think that this scene is really cool because it really captures like kind of like what it is to be a kid in the 70s. Speaking of foosball in the 70s, I mentioned this in my foosball video, but there was a golden age of foosball in the 1970s, and we are watching it reflected right here. Like it's beautiful. But more importantly, after that sick shot, I think that this movie does a really good job of capturing what it's like to be a kid who doesn't know exactly what they want to do in the future, but is having fun in the moment anyways. And I think that's really personified. Oh my gosh, if I could speak. Personified by Pink here, because he's supposed to do football and he's supposed to sign this like contract thing that says he won't do like drugs or alcohol or whatever. But he doesn't really know what to do. He's kind of dazed and confused about what he should do in the future. So this movie captures that really well, and that's something I really appreciate about this movie. There are other things about this movie, though, that man, it's kind of sus. Essentially, I don't think that this movie could be made today. It's a good movie. It's a great movie. I really like this movie. No way it could be made today. And that is shown extremely well by the next scene here. So this whole scene is like a walking like movie destroyer nowadays. Like if you had this scene in your movie, you'd be done. You would be done for. So watch as Matthew McConaughey's character, who's like college aged, by the way. He's not in college. He works for the city. But he talks to this guy, Don. I don't know if I mentioned his name earlier either. I should have. Watch this handshake. Bruh. And like Mitch has the exact same reaction that I think I would have. That's something. But essentially Matthew McConaughey talks about how he's working for the city, but he thinks he might try to get back to junior college. I mean, that's where all the girls are, right? But then he goes on to ask Mitch how the new crop of high school girls is. And Mitch is like, and Matthew McConaughey is essentially like, that's what I like about high school girls. Like, I keep getting older, but they stay the same age. And he has like a hand wave. It's going to play here in a couple seconds, but like a little funny, but that ain't it, Chief. That's not it. Not it at all. Ugh. All that being said, though, I really like this movie, partially because of all like the little quips and funny little like joke things that are in the movie, but also because I think it depicts just being that age, like being like a high schooler, like going into your senior year. I think it really depicts that pretty well. Heck, it even depicts going into your freshman year, though I can say, and whenever I started my freshman year of high school, I didn't get like whipped for it or whatever like they did with the like a paddle. So big plus living now as opposed to then, big money plus. But yeah, this movie, I really liked it. It's I mentioned this earlier, but it's instantly become one of my favorite movies. And it's just so cool to see like some of these actors, like Ben Affleck in the movie is kind of like a complete like douche. And so in a way is like Matthew McConaughey's character, but he's more likable. But it's just cool to see where they were when this movie was made in like 1993 to where they are now. But yeah, overall, I really like this movie. So thank you, Dad, for the recommendation. I appreciate it. And happy birthday again. I hope you like this video and just me talking about just Dazed and Confused. And that's kind of what I'll end on here is like this movie, it lives up to its name because these are just kids who don't know what they're doing. I mean, who really does, like who really knows where they're going in life? But like for real, I think this just really portrays this age very well. And I think in a way it's timeless. Like I mentioned how I think it really brings the 70s to life, but I think this story, you could make this story and have kids wear like modern clothes, and it would all be the same. So that's where I'll leave that. Overall, great movie. I've never done a movie review before, so this has been expert commentary, I know, but I wanted to get this out for my dad's birthday. And again, look at the cigarette pack on Matthew McConaughey's left shoulder. That's incredible. So hope you enjoyed. Happy birthday again, Dad. And until next time, I hope you take care, and bye-bye.